HappiDaze here. In today's video, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Head Start Sugofest and answer the question, is this the best Sugofest that Bandai has released in quite a long time? Let's go ahead and dig into the content so we can actually show you what that banner will look like and could recommend if you should pull or not. So as you can see, it's pretty standard. New characters you get, you'll have maxed out. Their GP abilities aren't maxed out, but that's not a problem. It's GP, not the end of the world. But what's absolutely crazy, one, you get the 15% legend rate. That's usually reserved for things like anniversaries and things like that. So that already is just amazing that they're going to go ahead and give us a 15% legend rate. So if it was a standard, you'd say, oh, okay, that's just kind of okay. But when we actually get to the units, this banner is absolutely insane bonkers. I originally thought that they'd have an end of the month banner for the old global anniversary, maybe give people a chance to have some new units, right? Like the ASL units we got a couple years back. But it looks like they probably won't, just because this banner looks so good. So you can pull all the standard legends and super legends on here. And what's nice is they including the Lilith and the Bonnie that just came out. Usually you have to wait a month or two for them to get added to the pool. You don't. That's awesome. Can't complain. And you get any standard legends from V1 Whitebeard all the way to Momonosuke and Hiyori. So can't complain. And they also, I know this is a hot spot for a lot of people because of the alternate inks and pulling them originally. But you can also get Luffy and Yamato there in their alternate ink form, which is great if you want to have a double copy of them if you happen to pull their non-alternate ink form. What they've also done on top of giving you great character pools, maxing your characters, is they're guaranteeing super characters on certain steps of this banner. So on the 10th, you'll get Roger. Fantastic unit. Has a evolution, which makes him even better. Uta is pretty good as well on the 15th pull. You get Kaido and Yamato. You don't see them have too much play, but they're actually a pretty decent unit, especially if you have that King unit as well as the Queen unit. They just work so well with the int version of Kaido. It's fantastic. And then lastly, a guaranteed G5 Luffy on the 25th. It's insane. Like, that is fantastic. If you're a new player and you don't have G5, throw every penny you have into getting a G5 Luffy. And the fact that you get him guaranteed on the 25th when he was 30th on his debut banner is just absolutely amazing. So if you're a new player and you don't have Luffy, go mow some lawns, shovel some driveways, do whatever you have to do to get enough money to go ahead and be able to go to the 25th multi, because the G5 unit is absolutely cracked. So again, all posts will be gold, so that's fine. And then if from the 4th multi all the way to the 25th, all characters will be at least 5-star or better. So again, they're just throwing great benefits on top of great benefits. So you think, okay, well, maybe something else must be wrong, right? Well, maybe the unit pools are good, or maybe the steps aren't good. And no, it's actually not. So if you actually into the structure of it, you can see on a bunch of pulls here, you end up getting a guaranteed legend. Now, like I said, you get any legend in the game, right? So it's not just guaranteeing that you're going to get a newer legend. You get some bunch of the older legends, but that just kind of is what it is, right? The fact that they're guaranteeing all these steps where you're guaranteed a legend is actually really good. And then if you start looking at, who's in the limited pool legends, right? And you get a bunch of these along the way. Like I said, you do get the 5, 10, 15, and then 25. Or sorry, it's 10, 15, 20, and 25. So obviously on top of those, you also get these limited pool legends. And if you look at the list here, like, there's a lot of fantastic units here. You have the new units from the New Year Sugo, which are all fantastic, all worth getting. You have the Magma Kaido, who's great for PvP content with Kobe and the Luffy. Of course, you have G5 Luffy himself. You have Big Mom, who's great in PvP for helping out that Dex team. You have the Zoro and Sanji here, who are just fantastic staples of the Free Spirit PvP team. And they can just hit like tanks if you get extra copies. As I mentioned, you have the Luffy Yamato unit, Kaido Yamato, and then you have some of the older New Year's legends, the Nami, the Nico Robin here. Again, they just output so much damage if you can get their final skills up, and you get a chance to just get their tablets here if you can pull some extra copies of them, or if you don't have them for the first time. Like, this pool is legit pretty amazing. Like, this is probably one of the best banners I've seen Bandai release in years, easily. So like I said, and then you look and say, okay, well, then you have a couple other multis where you can get a guaranteed limited pool Straw Hats unit, right? So it has, of course, the G5 unit, who's really good. Again, Zoro and Sanji are really good. They're great on PvP. Frankie, Tanky, and Brook are just kind of okay. Same thing with the Nami Usopp. They're just kind of okay. Robin Jinbei is a fantastic unit. This Zoro is just kind of eh. Chopper's good for debuffs. He helps take care of a lot of those debuffs, though a lot of people probably got him from the Pirate Rumble. That was months back now. And then the Sanji and Luffy's just a terrible unit. You don't care about them. But the fact that you have probably 6 good units on the limited pull Sugo Straw Hat step is fantastic. Like, and you can just pull G5. So if you don't have a G5 max, say you're 1 or 2 copies out, you should be able to easily max out your G5 for, if you go maybe like 10, 15, 20, you should be able to at least get a couple of copies of G5. Hopefully, if your RNG is good, it's all dependent on RNG, so no guarantee. But you have a much greater shot because you can get him both in the limited pools of Straw Hat characters as well as the normal limited pool of legends. Now, on 4 of those multis up to 25, you also get a super limited pool, which is down here. As I mentioned, some of the units aren't great here. The Basil Hawkins is terrible. Killer isn't that great. The Momonosuke here is really, really great. I use him on a bunch of teams. He helps give some defense to the side team. Good unit there. Albert and Queen, I mentioned, team up so well with the Kaido in the versus unit here for Kaido and Yamato. Big Mom, you can use her for the Dex PvP team. And like I said, the Kaido up here, the Strength Kaido is fantastic if you combine him on a Strength PvP team. So overall, even the super limited pool Sugo characters aren't really that bad. Like I said, there's probably a little bit less valuable than on the Straw Hats. Like I would say on this banner, there's probably a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe 7 out of the 13 here that are good. So, a little bit more than 50%. But like I said, I think for longevity, you see a lot of characters in the Straw Hat crews here just have much longer lives or usefulness than some of the characters down here. So that is what the poll looks like. The actual Sugofest goes live on the 16th, which is today. And it's probably about 5 hours away by the time this video gets posted. So, like I said, if you're a new character and you're wondering, should I be pulling? You should absolutely be pulling on this banner. Steps are great. Characters are great. Yeah, you could get some older legends because obviously you have that whole pool that is out there. But for all these steps where you have the limited pool or the super limited pool, for basically all these steps here, you get a chance to get fantastic characters. So my recommendation, pull. I think it's great. Now, if you're asking, hey, HappiDaze, are you going to pull? Unfortunately for me, the answer is no. And the reason that I say that is, one, we have Japan anniversary right around the corner in a couple months. I have somewhere around the order of like 1,500 gems saved up now. So in a couple of months, I'm hoping to get somewhere in like the 2,000 to maybe 2,500 range just by normal gems from events, logging in, getting the 10 gem sales when they come up every month or every Kazuna or TM or those things. But I have pretty much all these units. I don't think I'm actually missing anyone on, at least on this big list here, except for maybe the Katakuri Cracker unit here. I don't have them. And the Hiyori unit there. But outside of those 2 units, I literally have everyone else on this banner. So, and a lot of them are already maxed out as well. So it just doesn't make sense for me personally to pull, even if I might get some dupes to kind of help maybe get the quick Zoro here up to level 11 break 5, so I can do the most damage in the Free Spirit team in PvP. And my G5 is already maxed, so that was a key for me. So, like I said, for me personally, I'm saving up for anniversary. I think the characters there will give you much more longevity. At least 6 months to a year. They're usually at least usable, and they have good specials and things like that attached to them. So I'm just holding off. But like I said, if you're a newer player or you don't have maybe half of the units that you see on the big list here, I would certainly recommend pulling. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for me. I hope you guys liked the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, be kind to each other. And good luck on your pulls, by the way.